What's up, everyone? It is your host, Ghost, coming to you live with another wonderful video. Sorry about the delay. I'm just old and moving slow per usual. I have some things to take care of before I can make it down here. Anyways. How's everyone doing? Oh, man. Oh, my arm. Fuck. See, told you I'm old. My arm just hurting for no reason. So just a few things to take care of. Let's see. Make sure you follow me at official W Ghost on X. It's the best way to follow me, so you get the links and learn when I'm gonna be showing up and whatnot. And then, of course, wherever you're watching this, be sure to like and subscribe and give me a follow. It's the most important thing ever. And then wherever you are, unless you're already on it, make sure you check it. Go on rumble.com/withghost so that you can give me a follow on there and like the video. That'd be much appreciated. And then, of course, got Twitch, twitch.tv official with Ghost. That's another place you can find me at. But just make sure you check out my Rumble. Most important is Rumble. That is home base for me. I am on YouTube, but I don't think I'll get enough following for it to really matter on YouTube. But it's okay. I'll keep uploading regardless. All right. So what are we going to talk about today? Well, today what we're going to talk about is a New York man convicted in the death of a woman, Kaylin Gillis, after she turned around in his driveway. We'll check that out and see what's going on with that. Yeah, the case is finally over, of course. And then Vince McMahon is the latest celebrity to be hit with a sexual assault case, or in his case, sex trafficking case. So we'll check that out. And then we're going to check out the UAW labor union boss speaking the truth about Biden. And then we got Donald Trump weighing in on National Guard, or on the Texas situation between Texas and the federal government. And then we'll listen to the lieutenant governor speaking on the situation as well. And then we'll have a short video of Biden speaking nonsense and really showing he's really not fit to be a leader. And then we got 2 Instagram posts that's really showcase female nature. All right. So without further ado, let us get into it. All right. So this article right here is going to be prior to the latest conviction. This was April 19th, 2023. So a man who fatally shot 20-year-old Kaylin Gillis, who was in a car that mistakenly turned into his driveway, will remain in jail after a judge remanded him back into police custody at a bail hearing Wednesday. Gillis was one of several passengers in a vehicle, along with several others, that accidentally turned into the wrong driveway Saturday. While the group was looking for a friend's house in rural upstate New York, when the friends realized their mistake, they began to leave. 65-year-old Kevin Mohan fired 2 shots from his front porch. Washington County Sheriff Jeffrey Murphy said in a news conference Monday, no one is believed to have exited the vehicle or the car, and there was no interactions between Mohan and anyone in the vehicle before the shots were fired. Murphy said. Mohan faces a second-degree murder charge in connection with Gillis's death. He entered the courtroom wearing a dark suit and was shackled at the feet and around his waist. Prosecutors argued the man's confrontational and compulsive nature or temperament should be taken into consideration and request Mohan be returned to police custody without bail. Mohan's attorney, Kurt Massert, said in the bail hearing his client should have been given pretrial release because he's never been arrested or convicted in New York State and has been a local resident for more than 30 years. He has no penal law convictions. He has a significant ties to the community. The roots of his community for him and his wife run deep. The attorney has disputed the sheriff's description of events and has said that there were multiple vehicles revving their engine and coming up Mohan's driveway at a high rate of speed. He said his client was remorseful and felt horrible that young girl's life was lost. The victim's father, Andy Gillis, called for justice on Wednesday and described his daughter as a smart, kind young woman who dreams of becoming a marine biologist or a veteran. For this man to sit on his porch and fire at a car with no threat it angers me so badly. I just hope to God that he died in jail. Gillis said after Mohan's bail hearing, Kaylin deserves justice. Kaylin's two younger sisters are going to have to grow up without their older sister, the father added through tears. My wife, Angel, is going to have to go through the rest of her life without her baby girl. In a previous statement, Gillis described her as a talented artist, an honored student, a Disney fanatic who loved animals and was looking forward to starting college in Florida. About 2 rows in the courtroom were filled with Gillis's friends and families Wednesday. Blake Walsh, Gillis's boyfriend, was also there with his mother and was seen comforted by many people throughout the proceedings. On Tuesday night, Walsh told NBC in a phone interview he, Gillis, and 2 friends were looking for a party, adding 4 others' friends were traveling in another vehicle and also went up the wrong driveway. We thought we were at the right address, Walsh told NBC. We didn't have any cell service to figure it out. As soon as we figured it out that we were at the wrong location, we started to leave, and that's when everything happened. My friend said they're shooting go. I tried to step on the gas as fast as I could, and that's when the fatal shot came through, Walsh told NBC. I want to believe it was instant. I'm hoping it was. I pray it was, he added. Andy Gillis said Walsh wanted to marry my daughter, added he would have loved that for the couple. So there we go. So that was prior to the conviction. Now he has been convicted, apparently. So let's read that. A man convicted of a second degree murder Tuesday for a fatal shooting. For fatally shooting a young woman last year when the SUV she was riding mistakenly drove up his rural driveway in upstate New York. A jury found Kevin Mohan, 66, guilty of second-degree murder for shooting 20-year-old Kaylin Gillis on a Saturday night last April after she and her friends pulled into his long curved driveway near the Vermont border while they were trying to find another house. The group's caravan of 2 and a motorcycle began to leave once they realized their mistake. Authorities said Mohan came out to his porch and fired twice with his shotgun, with the second shot hitting Gillis in the neck as she sat in the front passenger seat of an SUV driven by her boyfriend. During the trial, Mohan and his attorney maintained the shooting in a rural town of Hebron, about 40 miles north of Albany, was an accident involving a defective gun. What? Okay, so you were able to carry your gun. Okay. You were able to get onto your porch. You were able to point it in the direction you were looking at. And then it just decided to go off. That really makes no sense to me, but okay. And apparently didn't make any sense to the jury either. Gillis, who was killed days after the shooting of 16-year-old Ralph Yarl, in Kansas, who was, what does this have to do with anything? who is black, was wounded by an 84-year-old white man after he went to the wrong door while trying to pick up his brother. This has nothing to do with this. Look, this is a completely different situation than from the Ralph Yarl incident. It's completely different. First off, they were in his driveway. All right. They turned around. They left. That's when they got fired upon. The Ralph Yarl one, if I remember correctly, was at the door of the guy and knocking to, and there could be an articulate reasoning that the knocking, I can't remember. I think I saw the video, and it could be argued that you get someone strange coming at your door, they're pounding on it, and you fire. That could, you could be reasonably fair. But this here is a completely separate incident. They didn't go up to his door at all. They were in his driveway, still in their vehicles, and they turned around and left, and were starting to leave when they got shot. It's a whole separate situation. So this whole Jarl thing is just stupid and is unnecessary. What? Okay. Mohan testified during the trial that he felt like the house he shared with his wife was under siege when the revving motorcycle and two other vehicles pulled up his driveway. He said he fired a warning shot to let the intruders know that he had a gun, but he said the second fatal shot was unintentional. Okay, hold on. Now, I understand being suspicious and maybe even potentially in fear when a couple vehicles come up to your driveway, but you're going to use a shotgun to defend yourself. Look, a shotgun's great, but that's more for CQB, close quarter combat. All right. If you're going to do for like a distance, I mean, yeah, he ended up killing someone with distance, but this would have been a better situation for a rifle if he was really in fear, like extremely in fear. One. Oh, I mean, I'm sure he may have felt fear. I don't know. But okay. Just because a bunch of, strange vehicles pull up into your driveway, if no one gets out and no one approaches your house and then they start pulling away, it's not a vital, I don't think that's a viable excuse for going out and shooting a gun. It's one thing when they come out, it'd be one thing if you came out on your porch, you had your gun with you just in case, and then people got out and they seem to be armed and ready for battle. That's one thing, but you go in and you immediately fire when no one has gotten out of the vehicle. See, it just doesn't. This is I'm reading this, and this isn't really a plausible self-defense shooting at all. And what do I always say? Don't give warning shots. They're dumb. That if you fired a warning shot, you don't fear that you're. See, here's another thing. All right. I don't know about you, but if I feel like I'm under siege, I got two vehicles coming and a motorcycle, and I feel like they're about to come out and get attacked, I'm not firing no goddamn warning shot. I'm firing and blasting my way until they're all dead or gone. That's just me. I don't know, but this is where he fucked up. He wasn't in any reasonable fear if he fires a warning. If you don't fire warning shots, okay, if you fire a warning shot, that's telling a jury, a prosecutor, cops, you weren't in that much fear, because if you were in some actual fear, you're not going to go for a warning shot. You're going to go for a kill shot. It's just what it is. So again, clearly he wasn't in that much fear if he fired a warning shot first. He said he tripped over nails sticking up from his deck, lost his balance, and the shotgun struck the deck. Okay. That he said he accidentally caused his gun to fire at the Ford Explorer carrying Gillis. All right. I'm trying to picture this. So I fire a shotgun like this. There we go. Okay. Now if I trip, yeah, I'll go like fall like this, or maybe I don't see how falling and landing would cause your gun to fire. Unless, like, just hitting the deck, I don't see it actually making it fire. Like, is it a possibility? Maybe, I guess. It'd be another thing if it made him accidentally pull the trigger because he pulled the goddamn trigger when he fell, I guess. I don't know. I don't see it, but whatever. I didn't mean to shoot the second shot. Mohan testified last week. The gun went off. And again, that's not a self-defense. See, nothing here is like actually self-defense. Guess what? If you're second, like for self-defense, you have to have reasonable fear of death or severe bodily injury, and you also have to have the intent to fire. You have to intend to fire. You can't just say, "Oh, the gun just went off." That's not self-defense. That's an accidental discharge. So he fucked up in two ways. Well, yeah, 2 ways so far. So you can't claim self-defense if the gun just went off. Because that's not self-defense. You got to have the requisite intent to defend yourself. Prosecutors argued Mohan showed a deprived indifference to human life by firing at the SV. He acted out of his anger. The only thing that can be inferred from the shooting at people, that's the only thing that can be inferred from shooting at people within 90 seconds of being on his property. And again, I understand, that, people coming in my driveway, I'd have some reasonable fear. All right. I'd probably grab my gun. I might even go out and confront them and everything, but I'm not going to fire a goddamn warning shot. And if it looks like they're immediately turning around and leaving, or even if they're taking a couple seconds, like, oh, this is in the place. All right, let's get out of here. And, it takes a little bit, but they, and no one gets out. That's the important thing. And no one gets out. Maybe if one person gets out, I'd be able to, still be able to be like, all right, well, this is weird. But there, it's a group of people. There's at least 3 people for sure. And only one person's getting out and coming up to my doorway and knocking, and then be like, hey, this is blah, 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 blah. Oh, I think we have the wrong house. Sorry. Have a good day. Like, no, this was a completely irrational decision here, at least when it comes to firing the warning shot. Again, it'd be one thing entirely if he came out with a shotgun and is standing there and what the fuck are you guys doing here? That's one thing entirely, because that's, you could reasonably do that. You could have your gun and everything, but not fire a warning shot or at all. But you have that gun, and you can reasonably articulate, well, the reason I went out there with the gun is there's a fucking caravan. There's at least, there's 2 SUVs. I mean, I'm sure they're carrying, at least 2 people in each, and then there's a motorcycle. That's 5 people, 5 against 1. All right. So obviously that's a reasonable fear, or not reasonable fear, but that warrants, some particular caution. And warrants, bringing out your gun on the odd chance they mean to do you harm. They could not mean it, and you don't fire a shot at all. But apparently this was 90 seconds. The shooting happened 90 seconds of them being on his property. It's not a lot of time. You can't give him a chance to leave. All right, whatever. Assistant District Attorney Christian Morris told juries in his closing arguments Tuesday he grabbed a shotgun and intended to make them leave as fast as possible. He didn't care if they were hurt or killed, just so long as they left. Prosecutors also presented evidence that Mohan claimed to have been sound asleep when police showed up to his house later that night. Gillis' father, Andrew Gillis, has described his daughter as someone loved and, the whole biology crap. So, yeah, whatever. So there you go. Yeah, that's again, to me, it's a completely unjustified shooting. The mere fact that you're Clearly not any reasonable fear. Because she fired a warning shot. And again, no one got out of their vehicle. So how can you think you're under siege? They're not fired upon. If you're not fired upon, and everyone is staying in their vehicle, you can't really say I was afraid I was under siege. It's a dumb fear. It's not reasonable. Okay, so you just killed a woman just because you're some dumbass. Really, in all honesty, you're just some idiot, and that's why your ass went to jail. Which you're good. You killed someone, and there was no justification for it whatsoever. So good. All right, moving on. So, didn't even say how long he got. 25. So it looks like 25 years to life is what the charge takes. So that's what his conviction could end up being. He hasn't been sentenced yet because there's always a sentencing later on. All right. So Vince McMahon has been accused of sex trafficking by a former WWE staffer. For a little background, this is Vince Kennedy McMahon. Born August 24, 1995 or 1945. God damn. This guy old as shit. He looks good for an old guy. Not going to lie. 1945, fuck, World War II just ended. That's when he was born. Is an American businessman, media proprietor, sports executive, professional wrestling promoter. He's the co-founder of the modern WWE, the world's largest professional wrestling promotion. Is the current executive chairman of the promotion's parent company, TKO Group Holdings. Outside of the professional wrestling, McMahon has occasionally ventured into promoting other sports. Its most notable projects include World Bodybuilding Federation and XFL. All right, so that's who this guy is. Anything of more entrance? Okay, so he had some apparent affairs that he used hush money agreements to pay with former WWE employees. McMahon stepped down as CEO and chairman of WWE in June 2022, pending the conclusion of an internal investigation. He was replaced by his daughter, Stephanie McMahon. The following month, McMahon announced his retirement from WWE, but his return to WWE as an executive chairman was confirmed in January 2023. That April, a merger was announced between WWE and Endeavor Group Holdings, owner of the Ultimate Fighting Championship, UFC, mixed martial arts promotion. McMahon will serve as executive chairman of the new merged company. So there you go. So he banged a couple of employees. Not a good idea, but whatever. When you've seen some of those staffers, I can't blame them. I don't even watch WWE, but I catch a few of them. The fuck is this guy? That does not look like the same goddamn person, but okay. A former WWE staffer has accused the company's founder, Vincent McMahon, of sexual assault, trafficking, and physical abuse in a lawsuit filed Thursday. The new disturbing allegations from Janelle Grant, who worked at a WWE's headquarters, come more than a year after the conclusion of WWE's appointed special committee's investigation into McMahon alleged misconduct while serving as chairman and CEO of the company. McMahon retired from his role amid the investigation in July 2022. But returned as chair of the WWE's parent company. In a lawsuit filed in Connecticut District Court, Grant alleged that McMahon promised a job and later promotions at WWE in exchange for sex. Okay. Well, I don't see any of that as sexual assault, trafficking, or physical abuse, but we'll see. Grant's lawsuit also include allegations that McMahon trafficked her to other men inside and outside the company. Okay, that would be traffic, I guess, including John Laurinaitis, a former wrestler who worked in the company's talent relations department, who is also named as a defendant in the lawsuit. The Wall Street Journal was first to report the lawsuit. At the end of her employment and their sexual relationship, McMahon alleged pressured Grant into signing a non-disclosure agreement in exchange for payments over several years, totaling $3 million, according to the lawsuit. In a statement, WWE's parent company, TKO Group Holdings, said McMahon does not control TKO or oversees day-to-day operations at WWE, led by McMahon. WWE and UFC, a mixed martial arts entertainment group, announced in April 2023 that they would combine to form TKO. While this matter predates our TKO executives' team's tenure at the company, we take Ms. Grant's horrific allegations very seriously. Why? And address this matter internally, TKO spokesperson said. In a statement to Deadline, a spokesperson for McMahon said the lawsuit was repellent with lies, obscene made-up incidents that never occurred, and a vindictive distortion of the truth. He will vigorously defend himself, the spokesperson said. Attempts by CNN to reach John Laurinaitis did not yield a response. In a statement to CNN, Grant's attorney, Anna Callis, very smart. Okay, I'm just going to say it's always smart to hire a woman when you're getting a charge with sexual assault cases. Always smart. In a statement to CNN, Grant's attorney, Ann Callis, said Thursday's lawsuit sought to hold accountable two WWE executives who sexually assaulted. Oh, no, that's Grant's attorney. Never mind. Who was sexually assaulted and trafficked plaintiff Jane Grant, as well as the organization that facilitated or turned a blind eye to the abuse and then swept it under the rug. Ms. Grant hopes that her lawsuit will prevent other women from being victimized. The organization is well aware of McMahon's history of deprived behavior, and it's time for them that they take responsibility for the misconduct of its leadership. According to the lawsuit, Grant was introduced to McMahon in 2019 when she was looking for work. All right, so she started around 2019. It is 2024. All right, let's see when she left the company. Grant initially believed she was building a professional relationship with McMahon, according to the lawsuit. The lawsuit alleges that McMahon eventually pressured Grant into a physical relationship as he dangled career-making and life-changing promises in front of her. All right, so she meets with him. He's like, hey, if you bang me, I'll give you a job. She accepts it and bangs him and gets a job. And now she's upset about it. Look, no, like, you could have just said, like, no, I'm not going to bang you for a job. Bye. But no, you banged him because you wanted the job. Okay, you made a choice. It's a pretty dumb choice, in my opinion. I don't care what you say. I'm not banging someone. I'm not going to have sex with someone to get a job. After receiving a job at WWE, McMahon allegedly subjected Grant to acts of extreme cruelty and degradation that caused Grant to dissociate and or become numb to reality in order to survive. Did he like kidnap her and put her in like a dungeon? Could she have not said no and walked away? Did she not have that ability? One disturbing incident described in a lawsuit details an alleged sexual encounter between Grant, McMahon, and a friend of McMahon's in May 2020. During the encounter, McMahon allegedly defecated on Grant, commanded her to continue to pleasure his friend with feces in her hair, according to the lawsuit. Okay, it's weird. The lawsuit also detailed an alleged sexual assault among Grant, McMahon, and Laurinaitis that occurred at WWE's headquarters in 2021. The two men allegedly pulled Grant behind a locked door, forcibly restrained her as she begged them to stop. One man of the men allegedly said to her, "No means yes." Miss Grant was exploited during her time of employment with WWE and was subjected to countless depraved and humiliating acts, which has led to severe and permanent trauma, the lawsuit alleges. The alleged details in Grant's lawsuit prompted questions about a 2022 investigation by a special committee into alleged misconduct by McMahon. Yeah, because he was probably fucking employees and they weren't okay with that. Okay. The investigation, which reportedly began in 2022, revolved around allegations that McMahon paid a $30 million settlement to a former, $3 million settlement to a former employee with whom he had an affair with. Okay. According to a previous Wall Street Journal report, the separation agreement, which was made in January 2022, prevented the former, then unnamed employee from discussing her relationship with Mr. McMahon or disparaging him, according to the Journal. The investigation reportedly unearthed. Okay, so she made an agreement. She got money. Okay. The investigation reportedly unearthed other older non-disclosure agreements involving claims by former female WWE employees of misconduct by McMahon. You know what's misconduct? Is having sex with an employee. That can be considered misconduct, even if it's consensual between two people. That can be considered misconduct because there's probably rules against them about anyone having sex with each other, or at least bosses with employees. Other misconduct claims were reportedly found against Laurentus, whatever his fucking name is. What's a weird fucking name? Journal reported in 2022 that Vince McMahon paid more than $12 million to 4 women to cover up alleged sexual misconduct and infidelity. WWE commented in June 2022 that it takes all allegations of misconduct very seriously and it has engaged independent legal services to assist with the review. While Grant's lawsuit did not explicitly say she was the former employee at the center of the investigation, it nonetheless implicates not only McMahon, but also WWE organization as a whole. Her lawsuit alleges that WWE knew about Grant's relationship with McMahon, but that the company actively sought to conceal any wrongdoing. I mean, if there was any real wrongdoing, meaning like something like trafficking or sexual abuse, then yeah. But if the only misconduct was him having affairs with his employees, I mean, dude's gonna fuck. Like, what the fuck? Okay. Grant also alleges that special committees assigned to investigate McMahon never interviewed her or requested any documents, despite Grant allegedly stating that she would be willing to cooperate. I highly doubt she would have said that. In March 2023, after the close of WWE's special committee investigation, WWE said McMahon would reimburse the company $17.4 million for the costs that had been incurred and paid by the company and or subsidiaries in connection with and or arising from the investigation conducted by a special committee. McMahon had stepped down from his role as WWE's chairman and CEO at the start of that investigation, but has since returned as an executive chairman of TKO Group Holdings, WWE's parent group, in January 2023. So, I mean, it's fairly plausible to see that he stepped down as WWE's chairman because they knew this was going to happen. The TKO Group Holdings, they wanted him to chair that. They wanted him to be hands-on in the making of that. And he couldn't do that plus be a CEO and chairman at WWE. So it's fairly plausible that it had nothing to do with the investigation, just the fact that they were going to open this thing up. All right. This is just history crap. Okay. So let me just... So it sounds like if this was her, that this all like she left employment 2022. It's 2 years. It's 2 years, and he gets a big old fat deal, and then she comes out of the woodwork. I mean, to me, a little suspicious. Let's see. Also, was there like a police report filed at all? Were criminal charges ever attempted to be made? I always have, I'm always wary when people say, when these women decide they're going to, say, oh, he did this, that, and the third with me. And then, oh, I don't like what happened, so I'm going to sue you now. I don't agree with, I don't find it fairly credible personally. Just me personally. But, so it appears to me, just saying, it appears to me that, she probably left around 2022. I'm guessing. I mean, the last thing I can see of her being with McMahon was something that happened like they had sex in a park in 2021. So maybe around 2022, she left and he paid her like, hey, don't talk about this. Here's some money. And that could be just, the simple fact of, I don't want, me having a bunch of affairs to get out, sign this an NDA, I'll give you some money for it. That's a very common practice with shit like this. But she waits 2 years, apparently hasn't filed any police report. And then all of a sudden, she wants to come out and say, hey, he did a bunch of this stuff. So he did all these terrible things. And you waited till he not only stepped down from WWE, but then became another executive for a different company before you're like, hey, this fucking happened. I don't know. Suspicious. I don't believe, this crap for a second. I've said it before. I have a very big problem just believing all women anymore. The timings are always extremely suspicious. I am always like, why did you wait so fucking long? That's all I want to know. Why'd you wait so long? This was if it was doing all this, I can understand maybe being in the moment, not really being able to sit, feel like you could do anything. But once you get out, you don't say shit. Okay. That's why I don't believe these chicks that go on like these podcasts and say, oh, I was, sexually assaulted when I was young. Okay, so you weren't comfortable going to the police and telling them, but you're completely comfortable to go on and blast it live on television. Okay, sure. So I mean, we'll check this out as the story develops. I wouldn't be surprised if this turns out to be a nothing burger. This will very well result in a settlement, and the settlement doesn't even necessarily mean that he's like, yeah, I did this thing. It's more of a, I really don't want to deal with this. The courts are ridiculous. The burden of proof of being charged with it is so low, it's 51%, that it's not worth my time to try and continue fighting this. I'm just going to pay her to leave me the fuck alone. Very well might what happened. All right, moving on. There we go. So the United Autos Worker President, Labor Union boss, Fain, has decided to endorse President Biden. See what he has to say.
Thousands of auto workers' families were left out in the street. It was our members and our retirees who sacrificed everything to save the auto industry. In that moment, Donald Trump said, and I quote, I think that the unions are really, really hurting very badly what's going on with the auto industry. End of quote.
Boo
Joe
him.
Biden, having helped save the auto industry, said the nation bet on the American auto workers and won. In 2015, when he was first running for president, Trump went even further. He said the concessions we took weren't enough. He wanted to do a rotation in the auto industry of the jobs in Michigan and the Midwest, so union auto workers would be begging for their jobs back at lower pay. He wanted to put the race to the bottom on steroids to screw the American working class.
Okay. So that's apparently what he has to say about President Trump. Now, let's see what he has to say about the truth of the matter. So President Trump was apparently so horrible to the auto workers. He wanted them to get fought, beg their jobs back for lower pay. All this horrible crap. Okay, you want to do all this horrible crap. Now let's see what the auto worker had to say about it.
EVs, electric vehicles, many automakers have said this has sort of been the bane of their existence, that the market just isn't there to support what they call the heavy hand of government to force the issue. Sure enough, we learned just a few minutes ago, Sean, after the bell ended for the day, that Tesla shares are falling after the car maker forecasts slower growth because of weak, EV sales, or weaker than expected. Do you think that's a problem for the automakers? You're quite right. You scored this historic and very generous.
Wasn't it Biden who was pushing for more EV stuff, less gas, more EV stuff? I'm just asking.
Labor package for your members, but that it's imperiled by this industry push for EVs.
Look, we have to have an environment we can all live in where we can breathe clean air and, have clean water. The UAW has always led the way in environmental concerns, going back to our founding. And, wherever the industry goes, we're going to be a part of it. Our workers are going to be a part of it. We're going to fight for those jobs, and we're going to fight for it to be a just transition where it pays good wages, good benefits, so that people can afford to live off that job.
Do you think it's being pushed too quickly, though? I guess that's what I'm asking. That it comes with the president doing so, but he has to juggle. I understand, the wishes of environmentalists, and you're an environmentally concerned union chief. I get that, but that too much so, and it could hurt your members going forward, especially if these sales just languish.
Well, look, we still make ICE engines and ICE vehicles, and we're in both markets. And, however this goes, we're going to protect our workers. But, being concerned about, there's infrastructure that has to be put in place still. All those things are being worked. As far as the timetable goes, adjustments may have to be made. Businesses always make adjustments when they launch new plants or create new businesses. They have a deadline target, and a lot of times those get moved. So, it's just going to be a matter of how things develop and how the market goes.
There's always a dichotomy. The union membership in the past was very strong for Ronald Reagan in both elections. George Bush Sr. benefited from the union vote. Many of your own members now, Sean, are very big Trump supporters. I don't know the breakdown, that part better than I, but that a good many of them are at Trump rallies and are MAGA enthusiasts. How do you feel about that?
Look, it's what makes this country, a beacon for other countries. It's democracy in action. Look, let me be clear about this. A great majority of our members will not vote for President Biden. Yes, some will. But that's the reality of this. The majority of our members are going to vote their paychecks. They're going to vote for an economy that works for them, and they're going to vote for a president. When you look at these two presidents, the choice is very clear about which one stands up with the working class and stands up for labor and which one stands for the billionaire class, and that's his base.
We shall watch very closely.
Okay. So a great majority of our members will not vote for President Biden. The majority of our members are going to vote their paychecks. Okay, dude. Doing all this. Trump was so bad. So bad. So terrible. But our members are definitely going to vote for him. It was so bad for us, but our members are definitely going to vote for him. Okay, bro. All right. So Trump has weighed in on the border, the whole border, Texas versus the Fed things. And this is what he has to say. Trump calls for all willing states to deploy National Guards to the Texas border and start the deportation. Former President Trump posted to his Truth Social account that he was encouraging all willing states to deploy their National Guard to Texas to prevent the entry of illegal immigrants. Trump made the calls to do so after Texas Governor Greg Abbott declared an invasion and invoked Texas's right to self-defense in the first article of the Constitution. At least 14 states have signaled supporting Texas in its efforts. In the post, Trump touting his record on immigration. When I was president, we had the most secure border in history. And Joe Biden has surrendered our border and is aiding and abetting a massive invasion of millions of illegal migrants, into the United States. Trump wrote that Texas Governor Greg Abbott has hands tied by the Biden administration with regards to the border. I will work hand in hand with Governor Abbott and other border states to stop the invasion, seal the border, and rapidly begin the largest domestic deportation operation in history. The post-millennial editor-in-chief Libby appeared on Newsmax to speak about the issue. Democrats want to tie the security of the U.S. border to fund war in Ukraine, which is absolutely a ridiculous concept. We need to stop. Fucking hell. What we need to see is a stop to illegal immigration. We need to put a stop to border infiltration. This is an invasion. Anyone who came into here illegally since 2021 was given a court date some 5 years into the future to determine, as DHS said, they likely will not be eligible for asylum or refugee status, should simply be deported, Edmonton concluded. Seems like something has got cut out here, but okay. So there we go. So Trump is calling for, because there's several states, I think, let's see, it was Montana, South Dakota, Oklahoma, and Florida and Virginia, all, supporting Texas and what they're currently doing. So, hey, what can you do? So, so now he's calling for those borders to send their National Guard, which they can do. Because, when Katrina happened, a lot of states sent their National Guard to help. I remember this because my dad went to Katrina when I was little. All right, let's check out what the Lieutenant Governor of Texas has to say.
The biggest mistake the Biden administration could make would be confronting law enforcement or our military, our National Guard, at our border, at this park, when we're actually doing the job that the American people want. So if they come down and create a situation, all of America already knows now, they will clearly see that the Democrats are willing to take on a state that is operating under our constitutional right to protect our people and protect this country. I don't think even Biden will make that mistake. We're not looking for a confrontation. We're looking for them to do their damn job and protect the lives of Texans and Americans and protect the borders in this country. And for every person that's died of a fentanyl overdose, for every person that's been murdered by MS-13, for every law enforcement officer who's been killed in the line of duty because these people across the border, that death is on the hands of Joe Biden and this administration and his policies on the border. They should not come and confront us. They should just let us do our job.
So there you go. He says, "Leave us alone. Let us do our job. God damn it." I just want to, since we are talking about the Texas border, I'm scrolling through Twitter, and something interesting has happened. Oops. So Texas, Texas Department of Public Safety is seeking volunteers to join the border mission. So the Texas military has a new full-time position available for the Texas Military Department. Full positions open for Operation Lone Star Border Support Mission. The positions offered an array of benefits, including lodging and per diem of $55 per day. Volunteers must be medically and administrative deployable, and military members of the military members of the Texas Military Department. Fill out the form below. Contact your readiness NCO. So I guess if you're already in the military, this is what you're for. It's funny. Texas is ready. They're getting ready. All right. Hey. All right, tweeting something. Looking at this post, some dude decided that he speaks for the Republican Party about wanting Trump to leave off it, or drop her out of the race. And Nikki, I don't know why people like Nikki Haley so much, but whatever. Not my problem. Oh, we're talking about today. All right, let's listen to Joe Biden say some crap. Oh, anyways, sorry, I didn't even finish my thoughts on the whole border thing. No, this is a very interesting thing going on in our history today. Like now, history is in the making. What is going to happen between a state and a Fed government? What, are we going to, we're going to see something interesting happen, regardless. And honestly, if you really want to think about it, this, Biden's, let's see. Trying to see if I can find a poll. Okay. So we're going to talk about this for a little bit longer, just real quick. Just found this quick poll on, so was it CBS? Americans are increasingly concerned about the situation at the U.S. and Mexico border. The percentage who think the Biden administration should be tougher on immigrants trying to cross is up to the highest percentage yet. Many say the border situation is very serious. And nearly half now says it's a crisis, up from May, a change in sentiment driven primarily by Democrats and independents. As a result, Biden's approval on handling the U.S.-Mexico border has also dropped. His approval on handling immigration in general is at an all-time low, and though it hasn't dragged down his overall approval ratings. His approval ratings aren't that high to begin with, but let's be honest. Support for transporting migrants to northern cities have also dipped among Democrats and Republicans, and now most Americans disapprove of the practice. All right, so September and now should be tougher was in September 55%. Now it's 63. Should be easier was at 19 in September. 16 now. Handling things right was at 26. Now at 21. Situation at the U.S. border is 45% say a crisis, 30% say very serious, 18% says somewhat serious, 17% say not much of a problem. Percentage saying situation at the U.S.-Mexico border is a crisis, 38 in May, 45% now. Handling U.S.-Mexico border. Joe Biden's approval was at 32, disapproval was at 68. Congressional Republicans were at 35, and their disapproval was at 65. So, let's see. Okay, border states sending migrants to northern states. May was the approval was 50%. Now it's 53. Disapproval is at 50% in May, and it now is at 57%. Well, yeah, because now people are actually getting fucking affected by this shit. So approval, Dems was at 34, independents was 44, Republicans were at 53. Now it's 66, 56, and 47. Yeah, again, now it's fucking affecting them is the problem. That's why the approval rating is low. Let's see. Just looking through the various polls. So as you can see, the poll numbers aren't great for Biden. They're really not. And even the American people are seeing that. Oh, these are among Republicans. So that's not, I'm trying not to just do solely Republican crap. But yeah, as we can see, Biden's approval ratings on the border is in an all-time low. And this is going to hurt his re-election campaign. Because, Trump's going to just be like, you want 4 more years of this crap where more people are invading our country, crossing the border illegally, and the Biden administration is just trying to muscle in and, harm the states into doing what he wants them to do. Sorry. Etc. Like, this is what, people, this is what, this is what's going on. They're like, this is just free. This is easy advertising for Trump. That's what we're going to see here. And, that is what it is. What can you do? Well, I mean, you can do a lot, Biden. But yeah, so we're going to see his approval ratings start to, go lower and lower. They're like, CBS the news article said like, hey, it's not really affecting his approval ratings. Well, his approval ratings aren't that high to begin with. So, but yeah, it is funny that you're seeing increase of like, oh, I don't like that border states are now, shipping their migrants up north, and people are disapproving that. Yeah, it's because it's affecting them now. now they're getting a taste what border states have to deal with. Now they're like, oh, we don't really like this. Well, welcome to border states. But yeah, so I mean, like here's the thing with the Biden administration: Trump has so much ammo. Like it's like, look how terrible our country is now compared to how it was when I was in office. And he can just bash Biden over the head with this like multiple times. And what does Biden have? Oh, well, he has 97 felony charges. Okay. Most, if not all, of those charges a majority of people think are bogus. So that actually helps him. That's why he didn't have to go to a single fucking debate. And he still was extremely, was still high above the approval rate. Like, no candidate, like none of the candidates that were at the debates were, I'm pretty sure none of them reached higher than 15%, if I remember correctly. If they did, then they didn't reach higher than 20%. Trump dominated the debate without even having to go there because that's how much approval he has. So it is what it is. It's kind of hilarious. Nikki Haley, the only reason she got so much, she did well in New Hampshire is because New Hampshire allows Democrats to vote in the Republican primaries for some fucking reason. It makes no sense to me, but Trump still won. So, I mean, it's hilarious. Nikki Haley has no chance. And everyone who sees any of these charges against Trump and read about it, understand these are bullshit charges and they don't like it. All right, let's listen to Biden.
The beer brewed here, it is used to make the brew beer in this refinery. Oh, Earth Rider, thanks for the Great Lakes. I wonder why it's called.
The brew. All I heard was the beer brewed here. Great Lakes. That's all I fucking heard. Did you hear anything else? Great Lakes. That's all I heard. It's like when you hear someone speaking a different language and they have to say a word that's not in English or that's not in their language. Like I remember I had a buddy. He was Russian. He spoke Russian, and he'd be on his phone with his dad. He's like, Ford Mustang. That's exactly what Biden sounded like. Like every time I hear someone speaking in Spanish or like any language at all, and they have to say something that they don't have a word for in their language, and they have to say it in English, it's always monotone. Like I don't know why. Like I remember, someone speaking Spanish, or like, okay, quiero te want Ford Explorer. It's always funny to me. But anyways, that's what Biden sounded like. He sounded like he had a stroke midway through his speech. That's why people don't like it. All right, so now we're done with the politics. All right, we're done with politics. We're done with all that. Let's get into some intersectional dynamics between men and women. Okay, we're going to check out some female nature. Now, again, this is on Instagram. These are probably not that real, and they're really just meant for the clicks and the views, but we're going to check out anyways. Okay, no. So here we go. Let's listen to this.
He's upset with me because, in his words, sweetie, you need to stop spending so much money on DoorDash. Ordering it 3 times a day is not appropriate, and we need to start.
You're ordering DoorDash 3 times a day? Hey, bitch, why don't you fucking cook? It's your goddamn job. Cook. My wife has been ordering a lot of fast food too. But guess what? She's pregnant and she has cravings. So I kind of get it. Although I've been like, hey, no more of this. No more of this. You're eating too much fast food. But, I can't, it's one thing if you're pregnant and you have random cravings and you got to eat, you want to eat like everything. It's one thing. But this chick's not pregnant. She has 2 kids. Cook a goddamn meal, you lazy bitch.
Living within our means. Honey, it sounds like you have an income problem, not that I have a spending problem. Start earning more money and we won't have.
So you have a money problem, not me a spending problem. No, because even if he made more money, you'd still spend more money. So it doesn't matter how much money he makes. You would be still spending more than he makes because you just would gain higher and higher tastes.
Have these issues. So I took his credit card that we share and I booked a vacation for my daughter Richard and I. We're staying in a hotel tonight and I hope he enjoys that I charged $8,000 to his credit card. Make more money, darling. My husband.
Now look, odds are this is a completely fake thing. She's just doing it for the views, all this stuff. and everything. Okay, odds are that's what this is. Okay, it's just some comedic thing. But let's be honest, there are women out there that would do this. They just don't put it on, like, online. They don't videotape it. There are women like this, absolutely, 100%. This is 100% what women do. Make more money, darling. So if this was real, I'd tell the dude, well, first off, dude, you're kind of fucked, because like, if you married her, then you're just gonna get screwed into divorce. So this is what you should do. Take her name off the goddamn credit card. Like, hey, yeah, I don't want my wife on this credit card. Or pay off the credit card, close it, open a whole new credit card where she doesn't have access to it. Okay. So, stop giving her access to the goddamn money if she wants to keep spending it recklessly. She's got to come to you to get any money for anything. If that's what you're going to have to do, that's what you're going to have to do. Now, this is fake and everything. But also, you probably should have realized this chick was going to have a spending issue long before you put a baby in her. It's just ridiculous. Sounds like you have a money issue, not me spending money on you. No, because again, you still spend an increase. Like, it's like, say she spends, $10,000, a month. He makes, $9,000 a month. All right. So she spends more than he makes. Well, then he'll make, say now, then he starts making 10,000. Oh, well, now what's going to happen? She's going to start spending 11. Like that's what she's getting into doing. So it doesn't matter how much you make. She's just going to continue to spend more and more. And you're an idiot for even, taking this woman seriously. So you're kind of getting what you deserve. All right. Last but simply not least, one more thing. And this is just funny. Oh, whoops. Hold on. Got to restart it. All right.
Why it is so cold?
So he's like, can you put your phone down and spend more time with me?
The AC doesn't work. Where are we? All the traffic over here. What is this place? What's going on? Can you pay attention?
Yeah. So, there's a good amount of women that don't appreciate the hard work that men in their lives do. Oh, pay attention. Look, if you're going to be with a highly successful man, he's not going to have that much time for you. He's going to be busy. He's going to be working all the time. And guess what? You're going to get to enjoy the fruits of his labor, and you don't have to do shit. You just got to sit there and not be a headache. Is that really so hard? Do you need attention so badly that you can't do this? Like, it doesn't make any sense. What's going on with Texas? Nothing really. I mean, they're kind of having a bit of a standoff at the moment between, Texas State and the feds. Not really a standoff, but let's see. If I remember correctly, someone in the Biden administration gave Texas, I think it was today, they gave them a deadline. Today, you got to, have all the wire down or we're coming in. And it's hilarious. It's hilarious. So, it's a very interesting thing going on in Texas. We will see what's happening, because we've never had a situation where states openly defying the federal government, and rightfully so. So we'll see. But, here's something people don't understand about the Supreme Court decision is the Supreme Court decision. All it really does is it says that the federal government can cut down the razor wire. They're allowed to cut down the razor wire. That's all it says. You know what it doesn't say? It doesn't say that Texas can't continue to put up more razor wire. So, people freaking out and saying that Greg Abbott is defying the Supreme Court decision. He's actually not, because, you can't prevent them from cutting it down, but there's nothing in it that says he can't just put it right back up. So it's going to be funny, but we'll see. So there's a lot of interesting legal things that are going on now with, Trump and Texas and everything like that. We'll see. And Trump's calling for all the willing states to send their National Guard to help out Texas, and we'll see. We'll see if there goes on to a full-on revolt against the Biden administration. And again, like I said before, this is going to be great ad revenue for Trump, because he's just going to beat Biden over the head with all this crap. Like, look at the border. Look how bad the border is. So bad. Texas, the state of Texas, is now having to fight the federal government just so they could secure our border. That's how bad the border is. And what does Biden got against Trump? Oh, well, he has 91 felony charges. Yeah, but in Georgia, it looks like there's some ethic issues that are going on there. And again, all these 91 felony charges is your administration going after your political opponent. It doesn't look good for Biden. So, but we'll see. We'll see. All right. I'm going to wind it down now. Gonna go for a walk or something. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you like and subscribe. Give me a follow on whatever you're watching, but make sure you go to rumble.com/withghost. That is home base. That is the last bastion of free speech is Rumble. So check out my Rumble channel. Yeah, I hope you all have a good day. And follow me on X, of course, at @officialwghost. Best way to find out and when I go live and everything. Check out my gaming channel, rumble.com/gamingwithghost. And yeah, I hope you have a good day. Peace out. And see